Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Certain revenues of the DRC State mining company have not been directed to public treasury and are largely beyond the realm of public oversight, claims a report by the Carter Center. Martin Creamer joins me in studio to discuss this report's findings. Hi Martin.
Hi Tracy.
How has the DRC and its people been deprived of the benefits of the state mining company in the DRC?
There is no doubt about the fact that the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, is the prettiest girl on the mining block. I mean, the world knows that, Africa knows that, but the people are not benefiting from that to such an extent that you get an organization like the Carter Center, which deals a lot in health and other issues, taking it upon itself to study the situation and see how badly the filtering down is to the ordinary people of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And what do they find? Untraceable amounts of money, because no one is doing proper accounting. Of course, that's very convenient, because then who do you blame? But at the same time, you know, hard dollars, tens of millions of them, are not accounted for. And that is something that they have highlighted, and I think they need to be credited, the Carter Center, for coming into Africa and showing a concern for the people of this continent by exposing this obvious irregularity.
How credible is the Carter Center's report?
You know, the Carter Center is a credible organization. They've got a heart and they've got a head. And their head tells them, hey, there's something radically wrong here. Their heart says, how can you do this to your people? And this is the two things that we should be working on in Africa, a head and a heart. And we've got to do something to make sure that the riches in the ground at least start moving into an economy so that you can have growth that benefits everybody. Here we are sitting in Joburg. Do you think if there was this sort of corruption early on, and I'm not saying it was entirely clean, but the gold that they found in the ground here had spin-offs. It had forward linkages, backward linkages, side linkages. It formed banking, it formed fuel stations. You know, it created an economy that we are now benefiting from. How come this has not happened in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has not only great copper riches and cobalt riches, there's gold, there's diamonds, there's tin, there's everything you can think of, and it's close to surface. You know, they should have been doing much better, far better than they're doing. And thanks to the Carter Center, this is being highlighted.
How much revenue are we talking about here, and what has happened to it?
You know, they're just looking at certain periods of time. They're going over a period from that covered election periods, particularly when there was an election. They noted that like out of $1 billion, 3/4 is missing, you know, or 2/3 of it cannot be accounted for from the 2004-2011. And the problem now is that we should have had another election in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2016. It has not taken place. It will not take place in 2017. Will it take place in 2018? I don't know what we're going to do about these errant countries and errant governments, but the people probably haven't developed that voting background yet to sort of make too many demands. The place is scattered, so you see like most of $1 billion just not being accounted for. And even though they have got accounting systems, we're talking about a state-owned mining company, Gekamin. It's got its accounting systems, but when you go through them, and they went through, you know, 200 documents, and they did a big scrutiny. You find that most of that money is not accounted for. And when you actually confront them, you can see they've been denying left, right, and center there were any irregularities. Well, then, basic accounting says the money's gone. You know, where's it gone to? But you don't get replies. In fact, I think Reuters was on the line to Gekamin and after this Carter report. They still haven't had any response. They haven't had response from the chairman. I don't think they had a vague response from the chairman. They didn't get much from, you know, the management running the company. So there's something radically wrong. And I think that any of the companies now that have actually benefited from assets that they've got from Gekemin, they could be worried because they're probably going to come under scrutiny.
And is such deal-making and mismanagement of funds expected to continue going forward?
Well, now that we've got this election, probably if you look at the background trends in 2004, there started to be a flurry of activity, but not good accounting of where the money has gone. 2011, same sort of thing. And now when we've got this election coming up, which is an even trickier election, you could have a situation of worsening money disappearance and not being accounted for. So it's again just an indication of the type of opportunism that goes on in these well-endowed countries from a few cliquey people who seem to get away with doing what they want to do and are not called to account. The body that deals with transparency, ET, that has been trying to penetrate Africa so that you can have a transparent system of working. And what shocks me is that South Africa refused to actually adopt the principles of ET, which is a transparency initiative. Why? Why don't we also subject ourselves to this particular transparency code? I think that we should, as a matter of course, soon also subject ourselves to this. I know that at one stage the Treasury thought, well, we've got a very organized Treasury, we don't have to have this, we're not in the same class as some of the other smaller countries and countries in Africa, we beyond that. But I'm not sure we're beyond that anymore. And I think that we also need to subject ourselves to this ET expose of full transparency. Where does the money go? Where does the tax go? What does the government do with that tax? There should be a clear picture in all countries. And this body, ET, is trying to promote that. And I know there were certain initiatives. Many people in South Africa tried to get South Africa to follow that. And South Africa refused. I think it's time that they also came under this scrutiny.
And what does the Carter Centre recommend for the DRC going forward?
Well, I think it's saying, look, we can't do this on our own. Come on, guys. Let's involve the government. Let's involve civil society. Let's involve international community and others. Let's get involved here, because some of the companies that come into the Democratic Republic of Congo, they are listed on very big stock exchanges. They could be listed in London, or they could be listed in New York. So there is a way of getting to these companies. And the companies will probably tell you, look, we've paid our royalties, we've paid our tax. The question is, where has that gone? And if they have paid it, to whom did they pay it? And if they paid it and they tell you where, then what did those people do with the money? At least you've got a way of tracking this. So I think what the Carter Centre is looking for, collective activity here, where you all say, no, we can solve this problem. Let's go in and solve it. And I think this is the first of their reports. They're going to do quite a few more reports to shine the light on this Democratic Republic of Congo, particularly at this time when a lot of the civil society there and churches are trying to say, look, we've got to have this election. It's got to be free and fair and credible. And if you do get that credible into it, and you end up with a legitimate government, so that people have seen that justice has been seen to be done and it's free and fair, then that economic equation could develop, because then there's confidence from people to put money in there. But at this point in time, there's a lack of confidence, and it's going to hurt the people, and they've been hurt for a long time. We know that some companies are going in there and doing well, but there's always a big risk, and particularly the way things are politically, the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm glad that the Carter Centre has actually shone a big light on it.
Thanks, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Tracy.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the mining industry.